Hiya, I have another set of flashcards for you. This is just to help you study for your Salesforce admin exam. These questions were taken from pre-tests that I have done. They are just the flashcards, not the explanation. If you want the explanations on how we got the answers, please see the other videos. Thank you. How can multiple campaign records be associated with a single opportunity? Campaign influence. How can a system administrator discover who added a field to the account page layout? Download the setup audit. When a Salesforce user is deactivated, what happens to all the records the user owns in Salesforce? They are assigned to the deactivated user until they are reassigned. How should a sales rep create an all-day event in Salesforce? Check the all-day event box in the event. Sales representatives at Ursa Major Solar are working on opportunities and need to see how their colleagues have efficiently managed other opportunities with comparable products competing against the same competitors. Which two features should the administrator use to allow for this? Choose two. Chatter groups, opportunity dashboard. A system administrator enables case feed actions and feed items in support settings with the appropriate profile permissions enabled. What change will the user see? Cases will use feed layouts rather than standard page layouts. An administrator at Ursa Major Solar is setting up case feed. What should the administrator consider? Chatter feed tracking must be enabled for the object. High priority cases at Ursa Major Solar need to get response in less than 3 hours or escalated to a queue called high priority queue. An administrator needs to configure the case management process to implement this requirement. What should the administrator achieve this goal? Create an escalation rule to assign all cases where status equals high to high priority queue based on the last modification time set to age over 3 hours. The system administrator will use import wizard to update existing account records. Which values can the import wizard use to find matching records? Account name and site field. An administrator at Ursa Major Solar is configuring a workflow rule. What are two considerations for the administrator in this situation? Rule actions can take place immediately or can be time-based. Rule can be evaluated when records are created or edited. Universal Containers has an inside sales team that only sells warranty renewals and an outside sales team that only sells products. Each type of sales captures different information and has different sales cycles. How should the system administrator configure Salesforce to meet these requirements? Create a page layout, sales process, and record type for each type of sale. Ursa Major Solar is importing data and has many records that do not meet the data validation criteria. What will occur? The import process will fail, but only for the records with invalid data. Ursa Major Solar has the following environment and requirements. A new custom object named Regulations is the child of the account object. All users need the ability to view Regulations custom object when viewing accounts with the sales account page layout. What should an administrator provide access to Regulations custom object on the sales account page layout? By adding a new related list for Regulations custom page layout to the sales account page layout. The sales executive at Universal Containers wants to be notified whenever high-value opportunities are created for hot accounts. What should the administrator do to meet this requirement? Create a workflow rule on the opportunity object. A user is unable to log into Salesforce. What should the Salesforce administrator do? View the user's login history. Ursa Major Solar wants to ensure that unique data is always input into a specific field. Which two field properties should the administrator configure? Unique and required. Ursa Major Solar recently enabled the multiple currencies feature. As a result, which currency will be used as the foundation for all currency conversion rates? Corporate currency. Which three reports can be used to display a list of top 10 accounts on a dashboard? Choose three. Summary report with a chart, tabular report with rows to display set to 10, summary report without a chart. Ursa Major Solar is experiencing quality assurance issues with the product line. An administrator needs to use standard object to track the extent of the problem. Which standard object should be used? Case. Which two related lists should be added to the opportunity page layout to track how campaigns contribute to the overall pipeline? Campaign influence, contact roles. A sales manager recently left Universal Containers and the Salesforce administrator has received an urgent request to deactivate their username because the sales manager was part of several approval processes. It's taking longer than expected. What should the administrator do? Freeze the record. Ursa Major Solar's administrator created a new account record type, but when the marketing users are creating new account records, they are unable to choose the new record type. What are the potential causes of this issue? The record type is disabled on the marketing user's profile. The record type is deactivated. A company needs its customer service agents to collect and display different information on a case records based on whether customers are calling in with a question, product suggestion, or complaint. Which 3 features should the administrator use to meet these goals? Support processes, record types, page layout. Ursa Major Solar has the following environment and requirements. Critical high priority accounts have a assigned district manager, sales representative, inside sales representative, and customer service representative. The sales manager wants to prevent these accounts from being inadvertently contacted more than once on the same day. The sales manager wants to report on various customer interactions. How should the administrator fulfill these requests? Log a separate task, call, or activity on the account. Ursa Major Solar has an opportunity record with a close date of November 15th, which fulfills the criteria of the time-dependent workflow rule. The time-dependent action is scheduled for November 8th. The opportunity is edited before November 8th. However, it no longer meets the criteria. What happens to the time-dependent action? It is automatically moved from the queue. Universal Containers has a team of account managers that requested email alerts anytime an opportunity or case created on accounts that they own. What is the minimum number of workflows needed to accomplish this task? 2 workflow rules with 1 email alert each. After a recent restructure of its sales department, Ursa Major Solar is having issues with records being omitted in the new opportunity report. What are 3 questions should the administrator ask to research this issue? 1. Do the records the sales manager expect to see match their filter criteria? 2. Are the records currently being shared with the sales manager? 3. Do owners of the records have roles in the correct territory assignments? Universal Containers has a complex sales process with multiple record types, each shared with all profiles. Some users complain about the record type selection screen when creating new opportunities. Which 2 actions should the system administrator take to allow these users to bypass choosing a record type? Choose 2 options. Instruct users to update the default record type in My Settings. Remove record types from the user's profiles. So thank you for watching and listening to this, but please remember that memorization is not learning. Please go back and watch the videos with the questions and the answers and how we got to the best possible answers, because that will help you so much more on your test. These flashcards are just to quickly check your knowledge, and good luck on your tests.